You think Elon Musk is powerful? Rockets, Mars, electric cars, that's impressive. But Vito Genovese? He ran New York with a look, a nod, a word in a dark room. He was the boss of bosses, the man behind the Genovese crime family. His grip on the city was legendary. Unions, shipping, construction all under his thumb. Musk can disrupt an industry. Genovese could shut down the city with a phone call. His power was primal, built on fear and loyalty, not algorithms. Forget mega yachts, Genovese's mansion was a fortress. His parties, politicians, singers, movie stars, they came because they had to. It wasn't networking, it was survival. Respect wasn't optional, it was life or death. Peel back the layers and you find a man who manipulated people and systems with audacity. He made enemies disappear, moved markets without a tweet. Even today's billionaires would be stunned by his raw, old-world power. Genovese wasn't just a criminal, he was an emperor of the underworld. His story is a wild ride into the darkest corners of human ambition. In a world obsessed with innovation, he reminds us some powers are timeless and terrifying. He didn't need technology to rule, he needed only fear. The Genovese name still echoes in the city's bones. This is the story of a man who made the world bend to his will. Genovese's legacy? A chilling reminder, some empires are built in the shadows. He was the king of a hidden empire. His influence reached everywhere, even where money couldn't buy respect. The audacity, the moves, the manipulation, it's a story that makes even the powerful pause. For all our progress, some things never change. Genovese's world was ruled by fear, not code. He didn't just play the game, he wrote the rules. His empire was built on silence, loyalty, and the ever-present threat of violence. In the end, his power was a dark mirror to our own ambitions. The underworld had its own titans, and Genovese was the biggest of them all. This is the legend of Don Vitone, and it's just getting started. Vito Genovese wasn't born into power. He was born in 1897, in a poor Italian village near Naples. His family were dirt-poor farmers, scraping by on nothing. That kind of poverty hardens you, makes you hungry for more. As a teen, his family joined the wave of immigrants chasing the American dream. They landed in Manhattan's Lower East Side, a concrete jungle, not a land of opportunity. For Vito, it was a school of survival. He saw the gangsters with cash and respect and knew that was his path. He started small, errands, petty theft, extortion, but he was smart, ruthless, and ambitious. He fell in with future legends like Lucky Luciano. Together, they saw the old mafia as outdated. They wanted a new American syndicate. Vito was a quick study, learning the ropes of organized crime. He became a good earner, a feared enforcer, and earned the nickname Don Vitone. Prohibition was his big break. Bootlegging made him rich and powerful. The streets were wild, and Vito climbed the ladder, leaving his old life behind. He wasn't just another immigrant. He was becoming a force. The American dream for Vito was about taking what you wanted. He transformed from a poor Italian kid to a rising mobster. The city was his playground, and he was just getting started. Genovese's story is proof. Sometimes the most dangerous men come from nothing. He didn't just survive, he thrived, and he was hungry for more. The Lower East Side was his training ground. Every move, every risk, brought him closer to the top. He learned early respect is earned, and fear is a powerful tool. The old world was gone. Vito was building something new. He was ready to take on anyone who stood in his way. The transformation was complete. From Italian dirt to New York concrete. Genovese was no longer just a name. He was a threat. The city would never be the same. And neither would he. The rise of Don Vitone had begun. The 1920s and 30s, New York was a battlefield and Genovese was in the thick of it. As Lucky Luciano's right hand, he helped modernize the mafia, taking out the old bosses. The Castellamarese War was brutal, but it built the foundation for a new empire. Genovese was a key strategist. Violence was his tool, but always calculated. The hit on Salvatore Maranzano? Genovese helped mastermind it using cunning and audacity. After the bloodshed, Luciano formed the Commission, a board of directors for organized crime. Genovese had a seat at the table, now a founding father of the modern mafia. He was feared, respected, and always hungry for more. Ambition drove him. He eliminated rivals like Gaetano Reina and Ferdinand Boccia. Genovese saw people as chess pieces, moving them to consolidate power. He wasn't satisfied with being an underboss. He wanted it all. Every move was a step up the bloody ladder. He understood that in this world power was everything. Genovese's genius was in knowing when to strike and when to wait. He was building an empire, one ruthless decision at a time. The city was his chessboard, and he played to win. For Genovese there was no turning back. He was no longer just a player, he was shaping the game. The modern mafia bore his fingerprints. His ambition was relentless, his methods cold. Genovese was a master of the underworld. Every rival eliminated brought him closer to the throne. The bloody ladder was his path to power, and he was climbing fast. By the mid-1930s, Genovese ruled Greenwich Village like royalty. He controlled every racket, gambling, unions, loan sharking. His power was visible, his presence undeniable. He lived in a lavish townhouse, a command center disguised as luxury, custom suits, diamond rings, imported Italian furniture. He flaunted his wealth. Restaurants fell silent when he entered. Owners rushed to serve him. His parties were legendary. Politicians, judges, celebrities, all under his roof. Deals were made, secrets traded, alliances forged in the shadows. The line between the upper world and underworld blurred at his gatherings. His Atlantic Highlands mansion was a fortress. Marble, gold, even a bowling alley. It was a monument to his rise from poverty. Genovese's lifestyle was a statement. I made it, and I'm untouchable. He was more powerful than the mayor in his domain. His influence reached every corner of the city. The luxury wasn't just for show, it was a symbol of dominance. Genovese's world was one of excess, but always with an edge of danger. He built a kingdom where respect was mandatory. The parties, the power, the fear. It was all part of his rule. His mansion was a fortress, his name a warning. Genovese didn't just live large, he lived like a king. The poor kid from Italy was gone. In his place stood a legend. His reign over Greenwich Village was absolute. Every move reinforced his status. The city knew who was in charge. Genovese's luxury was soaked in power. He was the king, and his court was filled with the city's elite. In his world, loyalty was everything, and betrayal was fatal. Just as Genovese reached his peak, the law closed in. Facing a murder charge, he fled to Italy with a fortune in cash, but he didn't hide. He cozied up to Mussolini, donating millions to the Fascist party. In return, he got protection and ran a black market empire under the regime's nose. He even received one of Italy's highest honors from Mussolini. Genovese's reach was global. He allegedly arranged a hit on an anti-fascist editor in New York, all from Exile. His power crossed oceans and borders. Even in exile, he was untouchable. He built alliances with dictators and ran criminal operations on 2 continents. Genovese's exile wasn't a retreat. It was a new stage for his ambition. He proved that true power knows no boundaries. The law couldn't catch him, and even a dictator wanted him as an ally. Genovese was rewriting the rules of the underworld again. World War II ended, Mussolini fell, and Genovese's protection vanished. The US Army found him, arrested him, and shipped him back to face murder charges. The case looked airtight, 2 witnesses ready to testify. But just before trial, one witness was poisoned in his cell, the other, terrified, recanted. The case collapsed and Genovese walked free, a stunning escape. He returned to a changed underworld, Luciano deported, Costello in charge. Genovese took back his role as underboss, but everyone knew he wanted more. He was patient plotting, waiting for his moment. The stage was set for another power struggle. Genovese's legend only grew. He was the man who beat the system. The city braced for his next move. He was back, and more dangerous than ever. The throne was within reach. Genovese was ready to claim it. The underworld would never be the same. Genovese plotted for years, building his power base. In 1957, he made his move, sending Vincent the Chin Gigante to take out Frank Costello. Costello survived but got the message and retired, handing Genovese the crown. Now the official boss, Genovese called a national mafia summit in Appalachian, New York. Over 100 mobsters gathered, but a state trooper got suspicious. The meeting turned into chaos. Mobsters fleeing through the woods, tossing guns and cash. Police rounded up dozens, exposing the mafia to the world. It was a PR disaster and the other bosses blamed Genovese. His coronation became his greatest blunder. The feds now had proof of a national crime syndicate. Genovese's ambition had blown the mafia's cover. The underworld was furious, and Genovese was in their crosshairs. His rise to the top triggered his downfall. The king had made himself a target. The empire he built was suddenly at risk. After Appalachian, Genovese's enemies struck back. They couldn't kill him outright, so they used the law. A paid informant testified that Genovese ran a massive drug ring. The feds pounced. This time, no witnesses to silence. In 1959, Genovese was convicted and sentenced to 15 years. The boss who ruled by fear was brought down by a courtroom gavel. Even in prison he ran the family, his power undiminished. But paranoia set in. He suspected Joe Valachi, a soldier, of being an informant and gave him the kiss of death. Valachi, terrified, killed another inmate by mistake. To save himself, Valachi flipped, becoming the first major mob informant. He exposed the mafia's secrets to the world. Genovese's iron grip had finally cracked, the code of silence was broken, the underworld would never be the same. Genovese died in prison, but his shadow still looms over organized crime. The family he built remains powerful, learning from his mistakes. They operate in the shadows, avoiding the spotlight that doomed their boss. Genovese's legacy is a dark blueprint for criminal success. His power was built on fear, not innovation. He conquered, he didn't create. His empire was a dark reflection of the American dream. Genovese's story is more than crime. It's ambition without limits. He rose from nothing to rule an empire, leaving a trail of bodies. His ruthlessness bent the world to his will. Even today, his influence lingers in the underworld. He was a king in a hidden empire, and his ghost still haunts the dark corners of history.